Hey guys, Nighthawk from Eccentric Gaming Bytes here. If you haven't seen it yet, Unicorns of Love played TSM in the IEM event, and Kiki's actually locked in a Jungle Twisted Fate against Pantheon by Santorin. Now this was especially exciting for me since I was continuing to work on my series that AD carries and other ranged champions can in fact be useful jungle champions. So I thought I would make this video to show you how to jungle with Twisted Fate. First off, let's look at the first jungle clear with Twisted Fate. Now, if you haven't seen my last video, you might be thinking that most ranged champions are way too squishy to be in the jungle. But if you learn how to kite these camps, as I'm about to show you, it actually makes it so you have more health than most melee champions can when they first clear the jungle. So first off, you want to start out at the Krug camp. This is absolutely necessary because the buff that you get when you smite the Krug is very essential to helping you kite the jungle early in the game. Less essential as you move into the mid game, but this first clear, it's very important. So I started W so I could get those extra gold card stuns early in the game. This synergizes well with the Krug smite buff because you have a Krug smite stun every 5 or so seconds, and then you have the gold card stun every 7 or so seconds. So if you time it right, you can keep the camps locked down for most of the time. It's worth mentioning that killing the smaller Krug first is better because it helps the bigger Krug not reset as much when clearing the camp. So after I clear this camp, let's move on to red buff. This is pretty easy to kite, especially with the 2 stuns. It's pretty much just stay out of range, keep it enticed so it doesn't reset, and dance back and forth. This is probably one of the easiest ones to kite. After clearing red buff, we have 2 options. We can either move directly onto blue buff or clear the Razorbeak camp. Now, I chose to clear the Razorbeak camp for some extra golden experience, but I feel like it might be stronger to move directly onto blue buff as TF to get that level 3 as soon as possible and maybe initiate a gank. As this was a bot game, this doesn't really matter, but in a real game, it's something to consider. Now watch what I do when I come up to blue buff. I put a ward over the wall into the bush so that I can see the camp before it can attack me, and I start attacking it over the wall from range. This allows me to get a lot of extra damage in before the blue buff can actually start attacking me. So after you clear your blue, you're pretty much done with your first clear in the jungle. You can choose to go back and get your first item, which I would encourage the Ranger's Trailblazer. There's some merit to getting either the Stalker's Blade or the Skirmisher's Saber, but I feel like the Ranger's Trailblazer just helps you clear out so much, and it keeps you very healthy in the jungle while having your smite on a low enough cooldown where you can clear very quickly and efficiently. Now, mid to late game itemization is very situational on this champion. I feel like if the enemy team has heavy AP threat, it might be smarter to build some more MR like Wit's End and Maul. But if they're more of a standard build, you may be safer going Static Shiv and Blade of the Rune King for that extra on-hit damage. Now remember, you're not a tank when you're in this role, and it's probably not best to pick Jungle TF into a team of all squishies. As we saw in the IEM match, Kiki's picked TF into a Gnar and Thresh. So they already had 2 very strong tanks with great CC and disengage. So he felt safe going with a higher damage, more CC driven jungler than maybe a more traditional jungle like Maokai or Warwick. Now ganking with TF is pretty simple. You walk up to an overextended lane, pop a gold card stun or even a red card slow, and let your ally clean up the kill. If they have any CC, the opponent shouldn't be able to get away at all because of the non-dodgeable stun that you have with a TFW. Something I did want to mention is that the possibility of getting invaded is pretty much a lot higher when you're playing these more cheesy type jungle champions. The enemy jungler, like a Udyr, might think that you're being stupid by picking somebody like this, and he'll try to pressure an advantage on you by invading you early and trying to take your buffs or kill you in the jungle. And remember, you do have a lot of range and CC at your disposal with your W, so don't be afraid to pop that stun and run away, let him take your buff. It's not really that important to you. Better than dying. Or maybe you can coordinate with your mid and collapse in on them and get a kill yourself. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This is the second episode in a series I'm producing about jungle AD carries. We have champions like Vane and Twitch and even Corky coming up. So if you're interested in those, just toss us a subscribe. You'll get to see when those come out in the future. And as always, any feedback is more than welcome. If you want to comment on the Reddit thread or even on the YouTube page, then please do so with any constructive criticism so I can improve. I'm always looking to improve the production value of my shows. Alright, see you guys next time.